Happy Saturday, guys, and welcome to the venue live. My name is Roger Ramirez, and this is Houston's first online live performance venue brought to you from R&R Studio. So today we're in the studio with, sorry, I'm bringing the volume down, Thommy Nekro. What's up, dude?
How's it going, man?
And happy birthday.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
How old are you?
I am 29 today.
29, man. You're approaching 30s, bro.
Oh, yeah. It's creeping on me. It's creeping.
Well, thank you for being here. I know you had a long drive.
Absolutely, man. It's an honor to be here.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, man. A little background on you. I know I've been talking to you, and it seems like you have a lot of experience in all of this.
Yeah, I've been doing this a minute, man. I've been making music off and on since I was 14, 15 years old. But I've been pushing it professionally since about 2009. And 2013, I released my first solo album as Thommy Nekro, and then went on tour shortly after that. Came back, put out another album, and I've basically kind of been on a rinse and repeat formula of that for ever since.
How long were you on tour for? And who did you go with?
It was real intermittent, 20 city tours here and there, but I've toured with Razakel. I've toured with Insane Poetry. I've toured with Scum. I've toured with Static G. I tend to tour a lot with more like horrorcore and underground hip hop stuff.
Yeah.
But we're actually trying to set up one of my first headlining tours real soon, and I'll have a full live band behind me. So
dude, that would be sick.
I'm trying to change it up. I might even try to book some punk rock bands or some hardcore bands to come with us or something like that. Just
dude, that'd be
mix
awesome,
it up.
man.
Yeah,
your music. You're awesome just by yourself. What I've heard.
Thank you.
But having a band with that behind you, I think that would be like so dope, man.
It just reinforces it, man. Like I was originally in a metal band and in punk rock bands, and so I was always about the live band feel, and even watching hip hop groups. I grew up on groups like Cypress Hill, groups like Wu-Tang, and they had the live elements, and I've always just been a fan of that.
Yeah,
I like it still being musical.
Hell yeah. So when did you start writing music? Like, how old were you?
I want to say I started writing lyrics maybe 13, 14 years old, and then started playing drums around that time.
Because you're a multi-instrumentalist as well. You play it all.
Right, and I started playing...
Yeah. You play keys all? Sorry.
I played keys, I played keys in college. I learned through that, learned bass through that. And then I actually didn't play guitar until maybe 2-3 years ago. I actually wound up getting arrested, and I was on probation.
Oh, shit.
So I didn't have anything better to do. I had nothing better to do, so I kind of was like, well, damn, why don't
you mind talking into the mic a little better?
Yeah.
Cool. There we go. All right. So you had nothing better to do.
Yeah, nothing better to do, man. And so I'm on papers for a year, so I just figured I'd get my chops down and start shredding.
Dude.
I got tired of all my lead guitar players not coming to the studio.
Dude, yeah, man.
So I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to do it myself.
So I've had a musician for many years, and I had a hard time with guitar players, man. They just wouldn't show up.
They're just, it's a prima donna thing, man. But now I get to be that prima donna guitar player. So.
All right, but you do show up, right?
I usually do.
Usually do.
Usually. I have a couple nights where I might be bad. I'm usually pretty good about showing up. I'm pretty prompt.
That's awesome, dude. So tell us a little bit about your influences.
It's definitely a melting pot. But I'm a big Misfits fan. The Misfits are my all-time favorite band of all time. Big Black Sabbath fan. Big fan of Bob Marley. I'm a big fan of the Wu-Tang Clan. And I'm a big fan of Tech Nine. So I like a lot of underground hip-hop. I'm definitely a big fan of anything horror. So I grew up on stuff like Alice Cooper. Stuff like Guar and, the Marilyn Mansons of the world, So I like a lot of that shit, too.
That's pretty awesome, man.
Yeah, thank you.
And so what actually got you into music whenever you were young?
Well, when I was about 3 or 4 years old, my parents decided to get cable. And,
all right.
And so I got to see my first music video ever, and it was More Human Than Human from White Zombie.
Oh, yeah. Hey,
and I couldn't. I didn't know what kind of music it was or if it was even considered music, but I was like, whatever that shit is, I want to do that, let's do that.
Yeah.
And my father was actually in, a garage rock band, and they played in my living room every morning. And so I used to wake up, I'm like,
morning.
Yeah. I used to wake up 3 or 4 years old, and they're doing Metallica and Pantera covers in the living room and shit.
Man.
And so they would just give me the mic and have me come in and do Cemetery Gates from Pantera and have me come in and do Metallica covers.
So
and
cool,
it was
man.
fun, man. It was a lot of fun, and I always knew from one point, you know, I was gonna be doing music somewhere, you know, in my life. So.
That's pretty badass, man. That you have that early experience.
Yeah.
I hope I can inspire my kids with all of this, you know, to one day I don't force them.
Yeah.
Because you can't really force it, you know. It has to come from within. But
absolutely.
But I will, you know. I hope one day that they kind of see what we're doing here as far as like, you know, with the local bands and performing and well, they all do play instruments, but I kind of want them. They just play instruments because they kind of have to at school, you know.
Right.
You know,
right.
but I kind
of band.
I kind of want them to kind of take up that because it becomes a passion.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with going and doing that because it really helps you develop your fundamentals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course.
I took marching band for 3 years, you know, so I definitely feel like it's beneficial and it only.
What did you play in the marching band?
I played snare. I definitely played snare. I was.
So
you
can roll all day.
Oh yeah. I took classes on rudiments and paradiddles and left and right. All that.
Dude, that's cool, man.
Oh yeah.
You know your lingo.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's cool, man. If you what do you? So I'm gonna ask a little deeper question.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Do you think the internet has helped the music industry, or do you think it's like diminished it? You know.
See. I like having that debate too with my friends. I feel like it's very much like a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
I feel like we've definitely taken the hit as far as like the decline in CD sales and the decline in like hard copy sales.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like the exposure that we've gained from the internet world and the streaming world and you know the YouTubes out there and stuff like that. I really feel like that has definitely worked wonders for like a promotional end.
For all this?
Because it's definitely like it beats being out, you know, in the parking lot trying to beat feet and flyer cars all day, you know. Like this is definitely in a lot of cases a more productive means of promotion in my opinion. But I also feel like, you know, we're living in a world where people aren't wanting to buy music anymore, and I feel like it really is a shame that people don't appreciate the art enough to fully go out and buy hard copy CDs.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, man, I missed being able to come home with a brand new CD and peel apart the cellophane.
Yeah.
And pull out the cover and read the lyrics and all that shit. And I feel like, you know, that's beginning to be like a lost art that kids today, like, you know, unfortunately won't all have the luxury to appreciate, you know. I think it's funny because it's true, but vinyl sales for the first time in fucking decades are doing better than CDs.
No way.
Absolutely.
Damn.
You know, people don't buy CDs anymore, but they'll totally buy vinyls. And 1 in 3 of the people buying them don't own a fucking record player. But, you know, it's the collector value.
It's more,
It's the collector value.
It's the retro.
It's another piece of merch to them. And so, you know, on the digital end, I think it's cool because it's like sometimes you got to give that free download away to get the T-shirts.
Yeah.
You know, so on a marketing end, it's like, you know, it's kind of like giving people the free samples now. You know, your music is your free samples. You're giving them a piece of you, and hopefully they want that entire product. You know? That's what you're doing. You're building that connection for them to want your entire product.
And I feel the same way. What you were talking about the CDs. You know, I had this. I remember I had my favorite band CDs like in a little CD holder, and that to me was like precious.
Absolutely.
You know, I guarded that with my life. Now I don't know where it is, but because we can, you know, easily stream the music. But yeah, man, my kids won't have a need for them.
Yeah. We got Spotify, Dad.
Apple Music.
Yeah, Apple
Music. We have Alexa.
Yeah, Alexa. You know, you got it at your disposal, at your fingertips.
That's true.
Like we used to have to actually go, you know, to the record store, which was a fucking building. Like it was a real thing.
Yeah. There was.
I definitely feel like I'm gonna be at that point of like having to explain that to my kids. Like, let me tell you kids about what music was like back then.
I used to go to Borders music store. There was a Borders music store, right?
Yeah, Borders and Hastings.
Hastings,
The FYE. Hell, I remember when Best Buy used to actually have.
Well, they don't have.
They still do, but it's like 2 or 3.
It's
shelves.
like little rows.
That's it. We sell washers and dryers now. You know?
So if you could collaborate with some artists, I'm gonna ask you to locally and an international artist, who would it be, man?
Well, I mean, locally, I've worked with a lot of artists that I've already been wanting to work with for years, and I'm grateful for that opportunity.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of new coming artists that I hear, that I'm hearing for the first time that I'd love to work with. Off top, King Baby. I'd love to work with King Baby.
Oh yeah. King Baby is badass.
That's my dude. He's a great guy, and he's very much into the bending genres thing too.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
I got a lot of respect for that guy's style, man, and he's definitely innovative. So I'd love to work with him. Outside of locally, we're talking bigger national artists.
Yeah.
I would absolutely love to work with Alice Cooper. I would absolutely love to work with Zach Wilde. Even if it was just some guitar tracks here. And there,
Yeah, that's what we mean.
I would really, a lot of people wouldn't believe this, because with the underground hip hop stuff, everybody's against the mainstream, and that's horseshit to me. I will work with anybody.
Yeah. Of course.
I
think everybody talks shit until they get that one opportunity. They're like, fuck yeah.
No. I want to work with Post Malone. I really want to work with Post Malone. I really want to work with Juicy J. I'm influenced by so many different styles of music, man. It's hard to put a finger on if you could work with this guy, would you? But I can guarantee you that very rarely am I presented with an opportunity for a collaboration. I'm just like, no.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. I try to be open-minded to it because I love collabs because it makes the artist bring out different characters and qualities in each other that they didn't know they had, and they bounce ideas and influences off one another. So I'm all for the collab thing, man.
I feel like because of your voice, it's very commercial.
Yeah.
You would be asked to be in to be featured in a lot of music.
Yeah.
Have you gotten any of that?
I have. Usually it's hooks.
Yeah.
I have people hit me up for verses and stuff like that. They're like, your bars are great, but man, your voice, we want to hear you on hooks. We just want to hear you come scream on hooks for us. And that screaming shit you do,
dude.
whatever that is, do that. Can you just come and do that?
Well, as soon as you started hearing soundcheck, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
This guy, and then you started actually spitting shit, and I was like, oh damn.
Yeah.
I got the voice.
Yeah,
and
I have
the tongue.
Requests for collabs quite a bit. To be honest, lately though, I've been more on the behind the curtain end of it. You know, very similar to what you're doing. I'm doing a lot of engineering stuff. I'm doing a lot of beat making, doing a lot of guitar tracks.
You working on any new music, man?
I am. I'm working on a new album called Quarantine. And I don't have a set release date for it yet. Yeah. And for the first time, that actually feels pretty good. I'm just I'm doing it at my own pace. I would much rather take my time and make sure I have a more focused and polished product, as opposed to just trying to push music just for the sake of trying to be consistent. And I was real bad about that when I was younger. It was I was trying to put out an album a year, or right before a tour, I'm dropping another album. And now I feel like I've put out enough stuff to where I want to sit on that and push it, and I want to get that out to people, and then work on the new stuff. It's kind of I don't want to bring you, another plate until I know that you've eaten your fill,
That's a good analogy, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. So Angie Emerson, she's watching us. She's a great vocalist. She was just here a couple of days ago.
Right on.
She says, yo.
Hello, Angie.
She's cool, man. She's a multi-instrumentalist like yourself.
Awesome.
And I had a few other questions. I fucking lost my train of thought.
It's all good.
So where can people go and listen to your music online?
I'm pretty much everywhere, man. I'm on Spotify. I'm on iTunes. I'm on Apple Music. I'm on Google Play.
Thommy
You just
Nekro?
search Thommy Nekro, or Thommy Nekro the Solemn would be the full title. But it's all there, man. I'm on Spotify. I'm on YouTube. So I actually have a few of my own videos out here.
We're gonna fucking subscribe to your YouTube channel.
Yeah,
bro.
absolutely. Likewise, man. Yeah.
I didn't know you were on YouTube like that, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
And we're gonna tag you on all these posts. We're gonna make sure that once you click on your name, it goes to all your pages. And
absolutely, man. Thank you.
Of course, man. So if all right, no, I don't remember my question. So, what stage would you like to perform at?
Oh man.
What venue, stage?
Okay, so I have two big venues that I've always wanted to play. Well, one of them isn't very big at all. So that's the cool thing about it. One is like a very like kind of underground venue, and I want to play there for the nostalgia reasons. And the other is like one of the most mainstream venues ever. So we'll start with that one. Me being a huge fan of, bigger arena rock bands, stuff like Kiss and shit.
Yeah.
And me being like a wrestling fan, I've always wanted to play Madison Square Garden.
Ooh.
Just that's the biggest, baddest fucking
dope.
place to play, So granted, I feel like every musician has that one big arena dream.
Yeah.
That's mine. Is Madison Square Garden. I love New York. Played a couple shows out in New York. I would love nothing more than to play Madison Square Garden. But outside of that, as far as like a realistic place.
Yeah. Well, no, one day, man. One day.
A more realistic place that I've always wanted to play is the Alrosa Villa. It's in Ohio. It's a little rock club in Ohio, but it's the venue where Dimebag Darrell from Pantera and Damage Plan was unfortunately murdered.
Oh.
And on stage, they actually have his outline still, and that place just has so much history from that alone. And
I did not know that.
Every band that comes through, they pay their respects to Dime, and I just. Me being a huge Pantera fan, me being a Texan, I feel like that's kind of like the pilgrimage to Mecca. You have to go and pay your respects. And so, I definitely would love to go play the Alrosa Villa. There's been talks about it closing down.
Yeah.
And I really feel like that's a shame just because there's so much history with that venue. Like, it's monumental, and if anything, like, I hope people are trying to have Kickstarters for this or whatever. Somebody out there needs to be keeping this venue open. Definitely. There's too much memories there.
So what are you doing for your birthday tomorrow, man? What do you have planned?
I will be barbecuing a whole brisket.
Your birthday is today, but tomorrow
tomorrow I'll be barbecuing a whole brisket at the house.
Sounds so good.
My band's coming over and we'll be working on some new shit, and other than that,
I heard that you had 2 bottles of something in the fridge.
Oh yeah. We got the whiskey in the fridge. We got the Jaeger in the fridge. Big fan of dark liquor. Dark liquor, man. Like I like the consistency of it.
That's nice, man.
Yeah.
Looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun. Y'all are gonna be well dranked and well fed.
Oh yeah. Nobody will leave sober or hungry. I can guarantee you.
All right, guys. So. We have Thommy Nekro here in the studio. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're watching on Facebook, share this event, guys. It's free to share.
Absolutely.
It doesn't cost anything. We were talking about the internet. Because of the internet, we're able to do good stuff like this.
Yeah.
Let's
take advantage of this.
We're able to combine the music with the technology of nowadays. And we come into your homes virtually.
We bring the show to you.
We bring the show to you. We know that you have a phone in your hands. I bet you like 90% of the people have a freaking phone either.
Yeah, you're already on Facebook.
You're already on
YouTube. Fucking off.
Just. Hell yeah.
You're doing the poop scroll. You're sitting on the toilet. Doing the scroll.
Dude, yeah. You know what hasn't been invented, or maybe it has been, like a little phone holder for the restroom, like. I'm sure it has been invented.
I feel like 90% of cracked screens occur while pooping. At least a strong 90%. There needs to be some preventative measures taken.
Right. Yeah.
Verizon, T-Mobile, if you guys are out there, hook it up,
bro. If you're watching on Twitter, retweet the event. If you're watching on Twitch, give your brain some oxygen from the games and just absorb some arts, man. We like to push the arts here.
Absolutely.
Guys, I think that's it. I think that's all I have to say, man. You ready to do this?
I'm ready, man.
Awesome, guys. So we're this guy, Tommy's gonna go into the booth and he's about to put on a kick-ass show for you guys.
Absolutely.
Thank you for tuning in.